Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's match between Romanticore and Lynn. We have Romanticore number 2 seed, Lynn number 15. This is second to the last match, I believe, of the first round. We'll be starting second round next week. The winner of this match will go on to face Curious Peanut. The loser will go on to face Donnie Rect. I am your commentator for the night, Mama Souls, joined by LOL Blanks, who is also participating in this tournament.
Yeah, I had my match earlier this week. It was a pretty good one with Forrest, and then earlier today we saw him versus Hattie. He did really well in that one as well.
It's been a really good tournament so far. We've seen a lot of good matches, definitely some memes, and I look forward to what these runners are going to do for us tonight.
Looks like we should be ready to get in the game pretty soon.
As soon as Roman decides on we're starting our countdown. All right.
Beautiful.
All right, boys, we're going to start at 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 1, go.
Good luck.
As I stated before, this is the first round of the Bloodborne speedrun tournament. We had a qualifier at the very beginning of the week. That was between Blanks and Forrest. And then this whole week has been the first round.
And so starting out, you see they're slotting gestures onto certain spots. That's for a drop and a skip, and we'll be seeing those later. We're gonna get past this big mean wolf right here, hopefully with no memes.
Both of them have
relatively tame.
Both of them. Booty slapping the wolf.
Man, this wolf is really loving both of them.
Whew. That's a scary attack for that wolf to do in that gate.
Otherwise, the opener is fairly consistent. As you can see, they're both getting up the ladder, and they're both safe.
Their first stop will be heading to the Dream, where they'll pick up weapons. And then they'll run through these mean streets of Yharnam.
We'll see if they decide any of them like to pick up the cane. I doubt either will, though. No, it looks like Roman is skipping the cane. Yeah, both runners decide to skip the cane. They're going to do a skip later on without it. It's just comfort.
The only use for the cane is a skip that's a little bit later in the game. But there is a way to do that skip without the cane. Therefore, both runners opting to skip it. It's just a little more comfy when you use the cane. So both runners will be making their way towards the first skip of the game, aptly named Sewer Skip. This skip skips the sewer part that you would run through and takes you straight to the first boss of the game, Father Gascoigne. You see Roman getting the no quit out version, Lynn opting for the quit out. That will cause a little bit, I hate to call it a desync, but Lynn is going to appear behind because he's done a quit out that Roman has not. This is a good time to point out we go by in-game time, not RTA, so Lynn is really not behind even though it appears as such.
So we're gonna have Roman taking on the first boss of the game, Father Gascoigne, and doing a pretty, I guess, unorthodox. Stab with that counter damage.
Sweet blood. Oh, it sings to me. It's enough to make a man
Then
sick.
also starting the fight. They're about in sync in game time, I would say.
So,
Sporting hunted ones.
unfortunately, looks like Roman has died to Father Gascoigne. And
Is
we'll
that our
get to see
first blood to Gascoigne in the
get to
tourney?
sewer skip again. I don't know. I think of the runs I've seen, yes. But I have not been able to see all of the runs yet.
So Roman's gonna get sent back to the dream. That's what happens when you die for the first time. Lynn also finishing up his Gascoigne. Okay. Also, I don't know if Lynn will be picking up this hunter set up ahead, just for the extra comfort and offensive capabilities. The beast hood is quite high on the hunter set, but that comes into play later, and that's why we normally pick it up late in the game. But in a race setting, it's just extra comfy to go ahead and pick that up early.
So like Blank said, you see Lynn going ahead and picking up this hunter set. Normally we get this before going to the DLC, but it is a good I don't know what's the word. Insurance policy in a race setting so that you don't end up.
Also, paired with 12 Vitality, you can go ahead and survive an attack from an enemy later on. So that's kind of like the idea behind picking up the set early, but it also provides some nice comfiness, and it looks pretty nice too. So there's also that. Roman coming up on Sewer Skip again. We'll see if he decides to plunge, or if we'll just do the
Boxes.
quit out version. It seems that the boxes for Sewer Skip have been broken. This is kind of what happens.
Yeah, he's gonna let the dogs kill him, which will send him back to the lamp and bring his boxes back.
He could also try to Hunter's Mark, but I think the dogs are just going to interrupt him anyway. So letting them kill him is not much different.
Meanwhile, Lynn is making his way to Old Yarnum, picking up some pungent cocktails along the way that he will use on this boss that he is coming up to right now. Opting to grab this lamp. That's a little safety net, so if something happens down here, he won't have to run all the way back.
This is the second skip of the game, Old Yarnum skip, named because it skips the machine gun hunter up top. You can basically just fall through the entire level. As you can see here, he's going to clip through this building.
Very nice skip there by Lynn. He'll be grabbing his first set of beast blood pellets here. Would you like to explain beast blood pellets for us, Blanks?
Yeah, arguably the most overpowered mechanic, I guess, of the speedrun. With the fast, like, swinging, I guess, of the saw cleaver, it can build up like a bunch of fury, and you'll see that in this fight. And once your meter gets about 80% full, you have like an 80% damage boost essentially. But you also lose defenses as a trade-off, I suppose. Similar to the clutch rings, I guess, in other Souls games.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see him starting off his fight with the blood-starved beast. Should be a good one.
Meanwhile, Roman is back, making his way through Yarnum again. I told y'all there were some mean streets. Y'all just didn't believe me. Thought it was a joke. And here we are.
Then you're gonna go ahead and lure the blood-starved beast into the corner with the pungent cocktails. Very safe strategy. And then he elects to do double backstabs. You let your stamina fill up to like the start of the item bar, and then you have enough stamina for 2 backstabs. So he's going to be taking out the BSB pretty cleanly. And the one downside of taking the old Yarnum lamp is having to warp back to the dream and warp back to Cathedral Ward. But it shouldn't lose him too much time here.
Then we'll be heading back to Cathedral Ward, where he'll. Oh, the name escapes me right now. Help blanks. Where you get the umbilical cord and the dulcet.
Yeah, he's going to be riding the elevator up, and then he'll be falling down into the abandoned hunter workshop.
There you go.
And you'll see when we get there. It's kind of familiar.
Y'all will have to forgive me in advance. I had a very long day at work. I'm a little tired. Names are going to escape me.
Roman getting his blood echoes back. Very important. Oh.
Good lord.
At least the boxes are still there.
And the no quit out. Shooting the dog on the
nice.
fence.
Very
Rat.
nice. So Lynn's arriving here at the abandoned hunter workshop, and as you can see, the layout is exactly the same as the hunter's dream. There's a doll in the corner, so it's just like a little, not Easter egg, but it's like a couple different Souls games have this theme to it. I guess there's one of these in Dark Souls 3, just kind of like a copy of the hub area, I suppose, in the real world. Because it is the hunter's dream, after all.
We'll grab the doll set because it's extremely cute and worth wasting our time on. Maybe it's worth a lot of echoes. I'm not real sure.
I've heard, but
To show your true face, eh?
it just looks really good.
Yeah, it's just cute. That's why we pick it up.
So Lynn also going to be popping this umbilical cord right away. He's going to get that insight level up. Oh, he actually gets the cord dupe off. If you spam your hunter's mark while using the cord, it will actually sometimes give you an option to duplicate it. So he's going to go ahead and be doing that. And would you like to explain the little ladder trick he just did, Mama?
So what you saw earlier, and we'll have to re-explain it when Roman gets there, there's a little trick you can do by doing an action along with the action of getting on a ladder. It's called ladder warp, and Lynn's game thinks that he is standing on the ladder right now, so he can go do whatever he wants in this area, etc. What he's gonna do is he's gonna fight Amelia. When he's done with the fight, he'll get his password, he'll quit out, and he'll be back at the ladder. Saves about 12 seconds, I think. 12 to 15 seconds.
So, Lynn starting up the Vicar Melia boss fight. There's a certain 5R1 strategy on that leg that you just saw. There's a different way of doing it with just taking like visceral attacks, but this way saves a little bit of time. So he's gonna be going for that.
So this
Looks
is
like you should be finishing it off.
Yeah, he's good to go. So this is one of the first bosses where you see limb breaking strategy, where we use that to our advantage to keep a boss from, quote, moving. They're not able to attack or anything. And you take turns breaking limbs and keeping them staggered, and they die before they can even get their feet off the ground. Having said that, if you ever mess up the strat and they get away from you, it's bad news bears.
Oh yeah, once Amelia starts healing those limbs back up, it gets very, very hard to recover the fight in a timely manner. You have to kind of just like play it slow, wait it out.
So you
Roman
see Lin
getting the quit out.
out, and he is back at the ladder, like we said. He'll
I
be
believe
making
it's how ladder inputs are stored in this game. If you like are on a ladder and you quit out, it'll put you at the bottom. That's kind of the concept of the ladder warp.
So Lynn's gonna pick up some upgrade materials here. He'll grab a gem on his way down. Oh, good lord. We're fine.
Ooh.
We're fine, it's good.
The crow gonna be keeping him held up for a little bit, but otherwise he's fine. Where's he heading to, Mama?
He'll be making his way down to the forest. On his way to the Shadows boss, but we're gonna make a little pit stop before we head that way and go fight a boss called Carl.
As you see, he uses the pendant. Sorry.
Fine, go ahead.
It's going to give him a gem that's going to boost his damage towards beasts, which is why we're going to make a stop at the dream real quick, upgrade our weapon, and then head on over to go kill a beast. Good timing.
Meanwhile, Roman making his way back to Gascoigne again. So you see Lyn is going to the dream. This will be his first dream visit in which he levels up his character, levels up his weapon, slots some gems, and heads back to Cathedral Ward.
And then this doll set is actually worth quite a bit of echo, as we found out. This just in. Yeah.
The doll set is worth 35,000 echoes. And this early in the game, that is a good chunk of money. Especially when, after Bloodstarved Beast, you just give all your echoes away. Roman finishing up Gascoigne, and he will be heading to Old Yarnum himself.
Oh, then actually getting 2 extra levels in his strength instead of grabbing 12 vitality with his Bloodstarved Beast echoes.
So normally here we would go 25-19 strength and skill. Having not gotten rid of his echoes after Bloodstarved Beast because he took the lamp, Lyn could have opted to get 12 vit. Instead, he got 27 strength. And funny story here, Lyn picked up the Hunter set and he is not using it.
He's elected to just not put it on. Maybe the Foreigner set is just like, it looks better. Or maybe it's coming. Because that Snatcher won't one-shot you. If you have the Hunter set on and at least like 11 vit or something, you need to like take off some armor. It's a little bit awkward. Because the Hunter set does have really high defenses.
That's the only intended death in the run, is to that Snatcher there. Dying to him will bring you to a place called Yahargul, and this is what's known as early Yahargul. You haven't beaten Shadows and Rom yet, so this has not transformed yet to what it is. Oh my god.
Oh, that's an angry room of Snatchers right there if I've ever seen one. So that can happen. They just like sometimes they'll jump at you, and you'll have to like curve. You'll have to curve your line to avoid it, or roll.
That was extremely aggressive. So Lynn starting back at the quote beginning of this area. Wow, I'm just like at a loss. Holy smokes.
Well, there's his 46 echoes.
Early Yahargul, we come and kill Parl. The reason that you would want to come kill Parl early is because after killing him, you get a badge that enables you to buy bolt paper, which is instrumental to this run. Meanwhile, Roman will be making his way to Old Yarnum. Skip.
So here you see Lynn making use of his beast hunting gem as well as the limb breaking mechanics to do like a nice little combo to finish off the boss. Takes it down pretty easily.
Parl
Pretty
here.
standard stuff.
Good old buddy Parl. If he gets away from you, good luck hitting him. He ain't
Also,
nothing but
if you run out of limbs to break as well, and he gets away from you, that's even worse. Because normally if he gets away, you can chase him down and break a limb, but if all limbs are broken, then you're really out of luck.
So you see Lynn buying 11 vials, 3 bolt paper. He'll be going back to the woods and making his way towards shadows.
Fun little fact about Parl. If you don't take the lamp and instead open that door behind him, you actually end up in Old Yarnum. And in the unrestricted route, this is how you go ahead and kill BSB, I believe. You do it after Parl, not mistaken. Once your weapon's all leveled up. But this is not unrestricted, obviously. We have Roman heading into the Bloodstarved Beast fight.
We see Roman opting to do YOLO Bloodstarved Beast. She is staying in the wall, which is not very nice. But we're working on it.
Making good work of that backstab mechanic as well. Counter damage. Looks like it shall go down the next couple of seconds. Very
Good.
nicely done by Roman. Now he's going to be Hunter's marking. Lynn took the lamp and kept his echoes, but he's going to throw all his echoes away and come back to Cathedral Ward. Unless he grabbed the lantern. I don't know if he did.
Roman threw his echoes away. So Blanks, you're relatively new to the Bloodborne speedrunning community.
Yes, indeed.
Tell me a little bit about how you got into it.
So I basically started speedrunning like maybe 2019. I messed around a little bit with Sekiro, did some glitchless, but never really submitted anything until recently. I got a PS5. I was lucky enough to get my hands on one of those. I got Demon Souls. And then right away after my first playthrough, I fell in love with the game and started speedrunning that. And then after I kind of got a time I was proud of in that game, I decided it was time to move on to something else. And there was a Bloodborne tourney coming up, so I was like, why not, join in on the fun? And that's basically how all of this started. How I got into this game, the speed run.
Nice. So you see Lynn making his way to the Shadows free skip. What do we even call this?
It's like tree jump Shadows AI freeze on current patch because there's multiple versions of this.
Lynn is a fast boy, but what you do is you jump up these trees and go and you come into the Shadows arena in an unconventional way. When their health bars show up, you quit out. When you come back in, they will be frozen. You kill them. Pop goes the weasel. Move on.
This is the shadow skip that doesn't actually skip shadows. Yep.
Having said that, if you're a boomer like me and have been running Bloodborne off and on for more years than you're able to count on one hand, we used to fight shadows back in my days, and many runs have died to shadows. So the fact that there's a freeze for them is a little bittersweet because
very luxurious for me.
Y'all will never know the struggle.
Yeah, I almost always free shadows. I just recently fought them for the first time in a race the other day. Like, not for the first time, but for the first time in a speedrun. And that was pretty fun.
So Lynn making quick work of shadows. Heading on to the next area where he'll do what we call, Lunarium key skip, which is one of the very few skips that actually skips what it says it's going to skip. He's going to run up to this bug and try to jump off its tail. If he misses this one, he is going to jump back and quit out, where he will get a second chance with the bug not moving to use the tail to jump off of. That's right, Carter. We used to fight shadows uphill both ways.
Roman as well, just finishing up his Vicar Melia fight and quitting out for the ladder warp. Also, it's important to note, this is the enemy, the one that Lynn is up against right now. This is the enemy that you would grab 12 Vitality and the Hunter set for. You'll actually live with a pixel of health with both of those from the Fireball, but Lynn dodging them pretty nicely. And then now putting you on the Hunter set.
I was about to say,
a little bit late, but Lynn gonna be starting up the Rom fight. Gonna go ahead and start by R1L1ing the first set of spiders. And basically the whole fight is a timer of clearing the spiders as fast as possible. Because then you have free reign over how you deal with the big spider. Because how much time does the pellet last? A minute? Do they both last a minute? The paper and the pellet?
whole minute.
Right, so the goal is to end the fight before your buffs run out. And so he's going to heal to activate that little gem that he has to boost his damage. The one that Roman actually just picked up. He's going to shoot Rom for a little bit extra damage. Gets at the backstep. Another backstep. Another backstep. He's getting all the backsteps today. Looks like Rom should be going down pretty easily in one cycle.
Come on, Lynn. Come on, come on.
Will he get it?
No.
Oh,
Lynn
he's gonna
missing
go ahead and quit out.
after one cycle Rom. Still GG, very nicely done. He quits out, which will put him right next to the queen so that he doesn't have to run across the entire lake to find her. Meanwhile, Roman will be dream.
Good choice by Roman to back up before taking the lamp, because that torch attack can kill you, and even though you're warping, it can actually kill you. And you'll spawn in the dream, and your echoes will be in the forest. So that's kind of awkward for your level up phase. You'll be missing like 20,000 souls or something, which is not ideal, because you have to go back to Cathedral Ward anyway to get grabbed by that Snatcher. So it just makes everything really awkward if you die there. So really good by him to go ahead and dodge the torch attack. But we got Lynn approaching Yahar Ghul, the area we were in before to fight Parl. Basically this way of coming through here is closed off. It's gated off before you kill Rom. And then once you kill Rom, you get warped onto that little platform that he was just on. So he's going to go ahead and make his way through the beginning part of the area. Going to grab an important item, a key item, and then we'll be Hunter's marking with his echoes back to the lamp. And we're going to see a pretty cool skip.
And taking his death to the Snatcher, will be on his way to Parl to unlock his bolt paper.
The ogre not falling on Lynn's head, thankfully. And so here's a cool skip called a Yahar Ghul skip, which, you know, from the name, it skips half of Yahar Ghul. He's gonna... Okay, so he's just gonna run past the wheelchair guy.
Put out. Here you go.
Oof. Hold my breath there for a little bit. So now he gets basically a free chance to do the backup strat for this skip, which is just really nice, because it's like a lineup that works pretty much every time if you're on the fence the right way.
Glow. This is
or he can do the Charger 2 again, but that's going to get the attention of the wheelchair guy.
He was not in place to do Pro Flow. Regardless, making his way through the fence, heading down
Very
to the
nice.
second part of Yahar Ghul.
Whoa. And speeding through that pickup. Gonna go ahead and grab some more upgrade materials and bolt papers. Roman finishing up Parl. He now has access to that sweet, sweet bolt paper. And there's going to be a set of armor to Lynn's right. We're going to be skipping that entirely because we have the hunter set. Normally, on PB attempts, you would wear the Foreigner's clothes until this point, then grab that set of armor. And I think Roman will do the same thing on this run, because I don't know if he grabbed the hunter set. Here, Lynn will be using a blood vial to grab the wolf's attention, and then getting that damage boost. And pay attention carefully to Lynn's line here. He's gonna be dodging these, I don't know what you want to call them, coffins that like shoot these like blood bullets at you. So his line will be very indicative of whether he gets shot or not. And so it looks like he's gonna get past them with relative ease. Gonna start the one reborn fight. Very, very infamous for runs and races alike.
How many deaths so far? 1?
In the tournament, I think there's been 2 or 3 at least.
Okay.
I know Indu died and D-Planet died here.
In the last tournament that we had 16 deaths to this boss. So that ought to tell you something. So what this is like just a pile of God knows what. And you're limb breaking. But the boss drops corpse piles on you. There's 6 maidens all around the room that shoot fireballs at you. He kicks you. Like, it's just
madness the whole way through.
Of what have you that's going on in this fight. There's so much to keep track of.
So much to take in as well in your first playthrough coming through here, because you have to do it fast, like, or else there will come like soup on the floor. I call it soup because it's just like yellow liquid, and you die in like 3 ticks. So like you have to like finish up this fight quickly. My first playthrough suffered many deaths here. But as you see, Lynn gonna be running through the lecture hall 2nd floor, heading on over to the Nightmare of Mensis. Will Roman do it? No, not giving us the wave gesture.
Roman
now,
also opting to do the shadow skip that doesn't skip shadows.
And we'll see if he gets the wedge first try. Takes him 1 roll. Perfect. Gonna be jumping off that tree. You have to be careful walking through these rocks here. Also, it can take you a second, like so, there, to fall down into the actual boss arena, because you need to quit out when the health bar appears, or else the freeze won't go off.
So you saw Lynn quitting out there before this little wandering madness. That is to take the silver beast behind him off of his trail, because that dude is aggressive. He'll wreck
that
your
silver beast will.
Okay, so like
he'll take your echoes and eat them up.
He will steal your lunch money, and you'll never see it again.
Unless you take his lunch money.
Good luck taking his lunch money with the +4 weapon.
Very true. Then gonna be grabbing an extra level of strength, actually. He has a surprisingly like high amount of echoes. I guess the BSB echoes really help here. He's gonna be getting this +8 saw cleaver and slotting in a 18% damage boost gem instead of the beast hunting gem, because we're done hunting beasts for now. We're moving on to more threatening, I guess, enemies. And Roman heading up on this Lunarium key skip here. We'll see how he takes it.
Nightmare, heading towards the first Nightmare boss, Mikolash. Roman getting the
very nice jump by Roman.
Lunarium key skip, and he will be heading towards Rom. Opting to do the YOLO.
Ooh.
Let's go, Roman.
See it. So though, for those of you who don't know, the version of ROM where you don't kill the spiders is called YOLO. And as you can see, ROM gets the first teleport off because the spider puked on him a little bit, and we'll see how he recovers here. Should be about 2 or 3 hits to get her to teleport again, and then he can go ahead to finish the fight. We'll see. These spiders can be quite a bit dangerous, so he's going to head on over to the 3rd warp spot. Looks pretty... Oh, he got bopped by the teleport, but looks pretty okay. As long as his buffs aren't running out. Ooh, ROM's getting crazy.
Here you go, get her. Watch out for that spider that just jumped. Oh my god. I thought it was going to be fun to watch.
Okay. Oh.
Now.
I was holding my breath for that one.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
And getting the warp. Very nice.
Woo. I'm okay. We're good.
He recovered before his buffs ran out. That's basically what ROM is. It's like a timer of if you can finish the fight in your first set of buffs.
So that was a perfect example of where Souls bosses with ads, like ROM with her baby spiders, you know who the real boss is. Them baby spiders were ruining everything that fight.
Yeah, I think one of them canceled the last L one to cancel her teleport. I think that was what happened. That's how she got away. But Roman heading on through the unseen village. Nice dodge on the musket hunter there. Not liking to grab those 3 bolt papers. I always grab those for extra comfort. And Lynn actually going to be starting up Mikolash, Host of the Nightmare. I didn't see whether he grabbed the elevator or not, so...
Everybody's favorite boss. Now, this boss is kind of interesting in your first playthrough because, like, you have no idea what you're supposed to be doing and you're, like, chasing his butt all around.
Ooh.
Fortunately, as speedrunners, we know how to get him into his little room and try to make quick work of it.
Another Souls boss with ads. So I guess you have to deal with this puppet before you can go ahead and deal with him, because the puppet can come in the room with you, and it just makes everything else so super awkward.
That one-shot you, by the way.
Yeah, ads that one-shot you. And then going to be finishing off the first phase with 3 pellets to spare. Very good. There's something you'll need to do if you're lacking 2 pellets, I believe, by the time that you get to the end of any percent. But I don't think either runner will, at the moment, need to do this, but we'll see. I don't think any of them...
Get the Hunter earlier. He's got the Yahargul set. This is what we do in a normal run. We skip the Hunter set until later and get the Yahargul set. So you see them both rocking different sets here.
I personally like the Hunter set combined with the Yargul set. I think the hooded helmet looks really nice with the jacket, but we're going to have the one versus the other. Lynn getting the plunge. Ooh. Nico getting away, but Lynn recovering slightly. This is a nice little safe zone you can stand in.
Call Beyond will one-shot you, like, 100% if you get hit by it. So Lynn, like Blank said, opting to get into a safe spot so that he didn't get hit by that.
And Roman gonna be taking on one Reborn. We'll see if he gets the second break. Looks like it. Very nice.
I like this new Miko strat where you shoot him, because I like to John Wayne things because I'm country folk. So I get so excited when I see strats that include, like, shooting things. They're like, hey, there's a new Miko strat that you get to shoot him, and I'm like, yes!
Yes, Mikolash. I like shooting that guy. I personally like the first phase where you have to shoot him 3 times. That's a really interesting strategy where if you damage him with 3 instances of damage, like no matter what it comes from, while he's running into the room, he'll come back out, which is like I'm not sure if that's intended, but you could do it with like maybe like poison knives or like Molotov cocktails or pebbles. Probably couldn't land 3 in time, but really unique strategy.
A second part of the nightmare, picking up this cursed gem.
Oh.
Good job getting that quit out ready. Good job getting that quit out ready.
Is he frenzied on spawn? I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. I think the meter might be low enough to where he can survive, but we'll see if he gets frenzied. I hope not. Because that would be very awkward.
Okay. So he will be losing these echoes down here. As a sort of backup that he can do, and I'm not sure if he's gonna do it or not. You can pick up 2 cold bloods by the pigs up here. I'm waiting to see if that's what he's gonna do.
Man, that Winter Lantern was so fast to get up to Lynn. I've always like thought of that rock that he was on as a safe zone, but I guess you have to walk in the room.
The thing in that situation was that he needed to get the gem, and he got that. Now he is going to lose levels, losing these echoes. He can make it up a little bit. Like I said, there's some cold bloods here he could pick up should he choose to do that. I think they're worth 40,000 echoes. If not, like I said, a couple of levels lost. When he was already a couple of levels ahead by saving his Blood-Starved Beast. So he's good.
So we're going to see him picking up this gem behind this tree right here, a little sneaky gem right there. That's a 15% damage boost gem, I believe. Very, very helpful. Because we still have this gem that's like, it's like an 8% with a 2% damage boost at full HP. It's a really nice point in the run when you get to drop that one. You don't have to worry about being full HP all the time. So he does elect to pick up those cold bloods as well. I don't know. I don't think the pigs in the shadows are fighting at all. There's actually a line you could take where they'll fight, and you can get some extra echoes that way. But Lynn not worrying about that. He's going to go ahead and head up to the wet nurse fight.
Roman is
the end of any percent.
Flush. So we're both in the nightmare. That's good.
As you'll see, she has many arms and many blades, and it's basically a simple strategy of getting behind her, hitting her, staggering her, just sticking on her so that she can't teleport away or just, you know, surprise you with like a wind-up swing or like a golf swing, people call it. Pretty good first part of the fight, I believe. Lynn getting 2 staggers. Oh.
Lynn getting Nightmare Phase.
Nightmare Phase.
The cancel. Let's go, Lynn. I believe. You can do it. Get her. Yes.
Oh, Lynn. Very nicely done dealing with it. I believe there was a wet nurse in front of the one that he was hitting, and that was pretty good RNG, I guess, because one can like come jumping at you out of the fog, and it's really scary, actually. Nightmare Phase is always pretty dangerous.
Throwing his stuff to get rid of it out of his menu. And waving. People, hey!
Hi. Very nicely done. Roman now heading up to the Mikulash boss fight. We'll see if he grabs his elevator. I didn't think so.
Bold strategy.
And Lynn can go ahead and get his weapon to +9 and slot those 2 gems he picked up in the Nightmare. And instead of like 130,000, he has 71,000, so it's a little bit off, but we're getting there. There's recovery later on in the run as well, if he opts to take some echoes home from the later bosses. Coming up on a skip we call the Lecture Hall skip. Lecture Hall skip, otherwise known as. It's like a very, very precise line you need to run along and jump on, and he lands it relatively easy. It just takes a few tries to get used to it, and then it's all about execution at that point. So Roman finishing up first phase Miko with 3 pellets to spare as well. Like I said, no. So what you would need to do is take a stop in the woods if you lose some pellets, and because there's like plenty there. There's like a stack of 6 and a stack of 3 you can get. So there's plenty of like recovery options, but neither runner needing those.
To my favorite skip in the game.
Would you like to inform everyone about this skip?
No, I would not. Thank you. The skip gives me PTSD, so no, I would not.
That was a it looked pretty good the way that Lynn did it. He allows you to charge R2 off the edge. There's like a way you can do it like a sit down gesture, which also works at the edge. Basically you just want to fall off without walking off yourself, if that makes sense. And he falls down onto the elevator and takes like half his HP instead of dying, because normally if you take that fall, you would just die, but here he's gonna go ahead and live with about 25% HP. I don't know if he's gonna heal or not. I don't think you really need to here. Heading on over to a boss, in quotations. We're pretty much OP by this point. He's gonna get damage, which is really nice here.
Magdala, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's the boss.
Lynn popping his cold bloods to make up for the echoes he lost.
So he's close to recovering.
Yeah, he will be headed back to do what might possibly be his final level up of the game. It normally is the final level up, but you know, in a race setting, we may do things a little bit different.
Roman getting a decent enough rotation on the lanterns. Looks like he can get out as well, because the second one grabbed. She's not going to sprint towards him this time. He's going to get out with his echoes. Lynn heading to the forest. And we'll see if he decides to do the skip or not. It's a pretty cool skip. Equipping a bold hunter's mark. I think he's planning one more return to the dream then with echoes. I think I know why. I think he might be lacking a few levels.
Alright, Lynn picking up some pellets, and will be making his way to the cave skip that doesn't skip the cave.
Ah, he's doing it. Very nice.
Oh, I thought he got hit. It looked like...
Ooh.
Oh, corner of my eye, I thought he got hit. That scared me.
Landing it with relative ease, making it look pretty easy. I have a lot of trouble landing this skip a lot of the time. You basically want to fall onto that little pixel, or like to the left maybe, like a little bit to that little pixel that you saw in the wall, and then you roll out of the rock texture, and then you get halfway through the cave. So we call it cave skip, even though it doesn't actually skip the cave. It's just like a nice little way to get in there instead of running all the way around.
Saves what, about 12 seconds maybe?
Yeah, 13 I think is what my splits say, because my gold landed it first try.
So Lynn will be coming up to actually the back side of the clinic that you first wake up in at the beginning of the game. He's got 2 items that he needs to pick up here. One is called the Canehurst Summons, and will allow him to get into Canehurst later to fight Logarius, which is a boss that Hattie has never seen before. The other is that he will kill an NPC in the other side of the clinic and pick up a third of the umbilical cord from her.
Oh, Roman trying to finish off Wet Nurse with a stylish gun attack, but needing the R1, sadly. Very nicely done. Out of any percent, both runners. Gonna take some victory laps around the lamp spot, because it does take about 15 seconds for the lamp to appear. And so Roman actually has the 133,000 that you would get from not losing your echoes to the Winter Lanterns. So he won't need to any extra echoes. But we saw Lynn equip his Hunter's Mark, the Bullet Hunter's Mark, onto his hotbar. So I believe he'll be doing one more recall with echoes at some point. But not here, because you only have 3,000.
So we're going to be doing some running for a little bit. So I'll give y'all a little background on these runners. Romanticore is currently 6th in the no-clip category with a time of 106.02. Lynn is 26th with the time of a 109 even. It was maybe a couple of years ago that we changed our categories to what's called unrestricted and a no-clip route. Unrestricted includes doing the clinic skip at the beginning with the wolf or wolf skip at the beginning. And then no clip obviously does not include that, and that is the category that we are running currently in this tournament. You see Len will be making his way to Upper Cathedral Ward now. There are 2 optional bosses up here to fight, and a badge for us to pick up that enables us to buy Beast Blood pellets.
This is basically like our cleanup of the base game before we head into the end game. Roman doing a setup of that skip with not a charge R2, but a extended R2 while his feet are at the ledge and you kind of just slip off. Basically, that same action of falling off from something that isn't you walking off the edge. So him landing on the elevator, losing only about 55% of his HP. Not healing, just like Lynn, because you really don't need to for this boss if you execute it properly. Then gonna be opening the doors. As you saw, we picked up the key in Yahargul, and now we're heading into the Upper Cathedral Ward, the spookiest area, I guess, in the game, with like a creepy theme and everything. Dropping a quit out and leading the quit out, very nicely done there. Wow, that was kind of scary.
Aggressive K-Dub nose. My God in heaven.
Ooh.
We're good.
Oh, we're good. We're good. Lynn getting past the guards of the Upper Cathedral. I always like the way that the sky looks after you kill Rom. Purple and pink.
This one not aggressive as the other 2. Thank God.
Nope, so giving him a nice point.
He'll be heading to what's called Orphanage Key Skip, which doesn't skip the key. But you kill this sucker here.
Okay, so he gets it.
And he gives you the key. And you don't
As
have
you saw there.
Way around.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, so as you saw there, there's like a little part of like the wall next to the door. You can like kind of tuck yourself in and then walk back over to the door, and then you can hit the brain sucker with your cleaver with bull paper on to extend like your range by like a tiny bit. And then sometimes the brain sucker will back up and then shoot the door 3 times with this like binding attack. But here he gets it at the right angle. I believe you have to hit like the right side of his hand or something like that, and then that kind of increases your chances of him coming to the door. But this is where you would grab the cane in the early game. I use the cane a lot of the time because I'm not a pro at the skip yet. but it looks like both runners confident in their orphanage key skips. Roman climbing the longest ladder in existence. I don't know who it was that mentioned it, but they said they would not trust the structural integrity of a ladder that big, and I'm inclined to agree with them.
Okay, Lynn making quick work of Celestial Emissaries, and will be making his way
Was
down.
that YOLO?
Old Ebrius, it was.
So that's kind of another YOLO in quotations. That one, it's pretty scary, but the normal way is to just deal with like the little guys and then hit the big one with like your 5-hit combo. But there he just ignores them because they kind of gave him like a good pattern. They were staying out of his way. Here he's going to head on over to the end of the base game, I guess, in the speed run at least. This is like the final challenge, I suppose, the gatekeeper for the DLC, if you will. And this is a little bit of a different strategy than I've seen before. He's gonna punch it first.
Lifeline strategy for this. I thought it was so cool the first time I saw it.
Getting the head break, very nice, and then does a quick little combo,
Cool.
and then I believe the fight's over. Yeah, giving it a charge R2 on the head.
Yeah, that
very
was
nicely done.
Roman is picking up his last third of umbilical cord, and he will be making his way to Upper Cathedral just now. Meanwhile, Lynn will be making his way to the DLC. Sort of.
This is where you would pick up the Hunter set in the speed run on a PB attempt if you're trying to squeeze every second out of the run. Because this set takes about 6 seconds to grab and come back to the blood vials on the other side. But in a race setting, you don't really need those 6 seconds, I guess. The added comfort was more worth it, I think. There were points in the run where Lynn got hit, he took a hit, and like maybe needed that added defenses. So
Ability in a race setting is worth 6 seconds.
I think so. So we're gonna head over to the DLC, but then we're gonna warp right back. As you saw, you got grabbed by that creature, and then there's this hunter eye that you needed to grab after you kill Amelia, and that lets that creature go ahead and like grab you and squish you, and then it brings you on over to the DLC. But he's gonna do some cleanup first before heading on over. He needs more insight, basically, to go ahead and get his weapon max level.
And he got his 44 strength using the echoes that he didn't throw away.
Oh, did he use the Bolt Hunter's mark there?
Yep. So
yeah.
Lynn will be leveled evenly, just like we would normally be in a speed run. He hasn't even lost anything. In fact, he's got 11 Vit as well.
Right. Did he pick up those ritual bloods and sell those? I didn't catch that.
I didn't see that.
That's another recovery strat right there. It's 30,000 echoes, those 3 ritual bloods.
Art. Very nicely done.
Yep. Roman clearing these enemies. Very nice. So this is kind of like the victory lap, so to speak. You end out at 8%, and then you do some cleanup, and then you come back to Center Yarnum, and you're just like a big bully. You have your hunter set, you have your upgraded saw cleaver, and it's time to do some cleanup. But Lynn heading on over to the hardest boss in the game, and we'll see if he can do it. We'll see if he YOLOs it as well.
1, 2, 3, 5, done. Very nice, Lynn.
Very hard boss.
I was a little worried for a second.
Lynn had some extra insight as well. He has 68. Normally I have 66 whenever I'm heading back to the dream. So that'll be some good comfort here. He needs 60 right here for an upgrade material. He's gonna buy some pellets, a elixir, and a blood rock, and a bolt paper for comfort. And then gonna go ahead and apply that to his +9 saw cleaver. And it's gonna head back to the lamp that we warped to with the creature, the amygdala. Roman starting his emissary. We'll see how he takes it. I expect nothing other than a YOLO, but we'll see. Backstepping. Very nicely done.
Not such a bad thing when all the little beans were on the other side.
I think both of those fights went the same pretty much. They both hit the big one with like an R1L1, and then it like backstepped away from the little one. So very nice pattern both emissaries gave. We'll see how Roman deals with Ebrietas. It's probably a little bit different than the way that Lynn did it.
The funny thing about emissary is that it's always like the big joke, like, oh my god, I can't believe you died to emissary. Get slapped by one of those little beans and see how much HP damage you take.
On 80% beast meter, yeah.
Roman is doing the same strat.
Same strat. As the tentacle hits the water, he's going to go ahead and start the fight. This is a swing, so he's going to have to get the extended R1 on the head.
7.
Oh.
He got it.
Very nice. He got the head break. Ooh, gets the visceral even though he's underneath it. That was unplanned, but
You Miyazaki.
nicely dealt with right there with the charger 2 at the end. And he's going to go ahead and throw away his echoes. Oh, did he get the last insight? I think he needs 51 insight here. Shouldn't be too big of a deal because you grab extra insight in a race, but I think you need 51 on a PB attempt. We'll see how many Madmans he has, though. So Roman's going to go ahead and get his Hunter set. This, to me, is always really nice, getting that Hunter set. It's nice and comfy to pick up at this point in the run. Amygdala grabs him, sends him over to the DLC.
Lynn just getting back into his game. We execute a little quit out here to reset these enemies so that we can get past them a little bit easier.
Oh, he skipped my hat.
Taking his blue elixir and heading into the river of blood.
These enemies are no joke. Like, even with the blue elixir on, your line needs to be on point here. I lost like 4 minutes in a race here at one point because they can go ahead and spit at you. And it poisons you if it hits you enough times. Well, and the Hunter set has very, very low poison resist, actually. Fun fact.
Tunnel tick here, if you don't manage your stamina correctly, she'll still chase you through the tunnel. So, like, you really want to be careful with how you're managing things, even with the blue elixir.
So, both Hunters and their Hunter set, very nice. This is how you know that you've reached, like, the late game in this game, is when you're in your Hunter set and you got your +10 cleaver and it's just time to finish it out. Lynn heading on the doorstep of Ludwig. We'll see how he deals with it.
I really like this Ludwig strat.
It's really comfy, actually, if you can get it down.
This was not how we did Ludwig the last time I speedran Bloodborne. So coming back and seeing this strat was really nice. It seems really comfy in a way. Like it works out perfectly.
If you don't know, there's 2 things to add here. So if you don't know, the old Ludwig strat involved fighting him in the second phase, I believe. But here, if you do enough damage to him in the first phase, when he begins the second phase, he'll already try to charge up his big Moonlight attack. And that's when you can capitalize and you can stagger him with a triple R1 and then into another R1. And then he's pretty much dead from there, I believe. And the second thing to add is if you kill it with a fire paper on your weapon, it'll do the animation as if you were killing like Vicar Amelia with the fire paper or Parl with a fire paper. It just saves you a couple seconds. The fire paper isn't very mandatory here. At this point in the game, Beast Blood pellets are a lot more important than papers because the % damage is a lot better than the flat damage.
Alright, Roman, looks like he's heading into the DLC now too.
So Lin going ahead and gonna go ahead and do his it's called an early skull. Gonna wait for the elevator to come up for about 3 seconds.
And he
Pull
went
down.
a little bit too soon.
Ooh, yeah.
Soon.
It's all right. He will spawn back at the same lamp, and he'll just try it again. It's just like about like a 10 or 15-second time loss. I was on a PB attempt today, and I got some stored rolls here. I know how that feels. It's not a very good feeling.
It's not really a huge loss in the grand scheme of things. It just, feels bad when it happens.
But him doing quit outs here is kind of saving him more time than if you were to use hunter marks. Hunter mark takes about 2 seconds to 3 seconds to go off. And if you quit out, it's kind of just like instantly negating that time loss, if that makes any sense. Because when he spawns back in, the elevator will be all the way down, and then he can go ahead and pull the lever again, try again. Roman grabbing his eye pendant for this same exact elevator. See if Lin gets it. That one looks a lot better. Doing the back step, grabs the skull. Very nicely done. We'll see if Roman does the no quit out. Okay, he's doing the quit out version. There's a no quit out version of this little method where you go down those stairs and then you wait for the hunter and his minions to come out of the room, and then you can just run right past them. But it does lose you like a few seconds in game to this strategy. Then you're gonna do the same exact thing actually on one of these enemies, one of these groups. You see that guy right there? You saw him for a split second. He chases Lin off. Basically, once he loads back in, that guy will be back to his original spot, and the other guys won't be as aggro. Roman now taking his trip through the River of Blood, through the blood ticks. Let's see if he gets any spit. No spit so far. This last one can kind of follow you through the cave, which can be awkward, but it looks like no spit there. And it looks like he'll have enough stamina to get up this ladder, because the hunter will shoot you.
Percent of the time.
And you'll lose like a decent chunk of your stamina. I've had times where he shot me twice, and that's pretty scary. But I've heard there's like rare times where you can get shot 3 times.
Okay, meanwhile, Lin is making his way to the top of the research hall. And we're about 10 seconds from seeing what he's going to choose to do here.
Now Roman going to take his battle with Ludwig. About the same strategy, it looks like.
Lin
pushing the elevator.
Opting to do the elevator.
The rat just comes off the edge. Very nicely.
Alright. We will be heading to the Living Failures fight. Look, Chad, it's us.
So Roman actually killing Ludwig with a Visceral here. You'll see that the kill is slightly slower than with the Fire Paper. Not a big deal because he has to run to the Fall Gate anyway. But just something to note that like if you're crunching seconds, then the Fire Paper here does save you like a tiny bit of time.
And tried to headbutt Lin. Fortunately, he rolled out of the way.
Whoa. So this boss is another one of those timed bosses where you need to kill it in the time of your first set of buffs, because fighting this boss with multiple failures out at the same time is, to say the least, concerning. And you'll see that these guys start shooting orbs at you if you get too far away from them. And he's gonna get ambushed actually by another one. Oh.
Say these are not really behaving very well for him. And before I could get the commentator curse out, it happened.
And they put their hands up to start a new phase of the fight, and we'll see him come back up. It shouldn't lose him too much time. At least it doesn't lose him as much time as doing the method, I guess, the new method of going through the research hall. Because he ended up pushing the elevator, so there's an open door to his right.
Oh yeah, there's an elevator here that's already open, and in this room here, you can even grab extra pellets if you're like in a bind. So ain't nothing wrong with this little room.
It looks like he has enough bolt paper to do one more attempt, but once you run out, the fight actually takes a few extra hits, and that kind of cuts into your timing on your pellet. I don't know the exact numbers, but I do know that the bolt paper is very, very good for his kin enemies. Like these guys.
We get a little more well-behaved failures this time around.
Roman going for,
attempting a new research hall skip.
And meteor phase is going to be beginning. Lynn has to get out of the way as soon as possible and behind this tree. He's going to be doing so. And then he kills the last guy that is guarding, or that's like channeling the meteors. So that ends the meteor phase. And you're going to see him look at his weapon. And if the bolt cuts out, then you have to quit out right away.
Come on,
but
Roman,
he's going to be good.
GG, Lynn. Lynn has been playing really, really well all game. And
yeah, aside from that failures meme, I think it was Deathless.
Explaining a lot more than, going through the GGs and this and that, but this has been a really clean run for Lynn, and Roman has really made a nice comeback as well. So definitely GG to both of these runners.
Roman gonna be ditching the skip, very heads up play and a smart strategy probably, because if he does end up dying to the boss, it's not a fun run back. Lynn here gonna be starting up my personal favorite, artistically speaking boss, Maria.
Oh my god, not friends anymore.
You're not a big fan?
No. Boss is trash.
Oh.
How can you be a speedrunner and like Maria?
Well, it's for the artistic of like the second and third phase. To be fair, I do struggle with the fight still. Then gonna be taking care of it with relative ease. While Roman is gonna push open the doors to the failures.
It's a beautiful fight by Lynn, by the way. Coming into Maria with like half a pellet bar really, really changes the fight. You barely have to fight anything second or third phase. You pretty much just breathe right on through.
This is one of my favorite animations actually in the game right here. You hold up this dial, and then the clock tower moves on its own, and it opens up its doors, like the hands move, and you're allowed to enter. Oh wait, it's not sunny at all. The fishing hamlet. Probably the darkest area in the whole game, actually. I like that little touch right there. Roman gonna be dealing with his failures. He's looking at his weapon. You'll see he's good to quit out now.
Making his way through the hamlet.
He doesn't have an elixir for this area.
He'll be coming up to what we call Hamlet skip. It does skip a good chunk of the hamlet, and will take him directly to the boss of this area, the Orphan of Kos.
So we'll see if he takes a stop at the lantern. I hope so. Because you really don't want to be sent right all the way back to the research hall. And you can see out of the corner of his eye, there is a dog in the door. I thought that was the shark, but there's actually just a dog in the door. While Roman goes ahead and starts up his Maria, giving him the hyper armor attack.
There you go, Roman. Get up in there. Oh god, she's doing all this stuff on the stairs. Oh my god.
Oh my. Roman getting out with about a third of a second to spare.
Good job, man.
Oh, and he gets the gesture off to for style points. Gonna hold up his dial. We're gonna see the clock tower open again as Lynn is going to go ahead and start up the Orphan of Cause boss fight. Probably the hardest boss fight for casual playthroughs for me, without doing this strategy right here, where he's gonna go ahead and get a bunch of counter damage from double backstabs, like so.
Is an alternate way to fight this boss that is considered a cheese. It is slower, but if you're not able to bait Orphan the right way like these boys do, it's more consistent. But this Orphan strat is just beautiful, and that was very nicely done by Lynn.
Right, yeah. So Orphan jumps away, and then at that point Lynn can go ahead and attempt to use the pellet, and it'll do an animation where he's reaching into his pocket, and that'll bait the Orphan to jump over his head, and then he can get another set of double backstabs. So very nicely done by Lynn. As we see Roman heading up on the same section, this time he has an elixir, so you can go ahead and head past these dogs with relative ease. Yeah, we're past them.
The elixir and had the worst time with the enemies, so go figure.
Roman electing to skip the lamp as well. Gonna do this cool slope quit out. He's very adept at these slope quit outs apparently, because he found one in Demon Souls that helps a lot in 5-1.
And Lynn will be going to fight everybody's favorite DLC boss, good old Lawrence.
Oh, okay. Roman getting caught up there in the wall for a second, but getting his footing back. Roman gonna get a jump opener, just like Lynn did. As you can see, Roman is saving his bolt paper for when Orphan jumps away. Ooh.
Okay.
That can happen. It's just like a little thing with the backstab hitbox, not exactly on the back, it's like on that little cape, I guess. As Lynn starts off his Lawrence fight, another scripted fight.
Orange
for the most part.
Nice and comfy too.
Very comfy. I've recently put time into and learned it.
It looks like Roman might be going back into his... I'm not sure what he's doing. He's got quite the run back.
Then gonna be taking care of Lawrence in phase 3, so it's gonna be a slightly slower death animation, but shouldn't be too big of a deal. Deals with Lawrence with relative ease. And now he's on to the final cleanup of the game. We're going back to the base game. We're done with the DLC.
Alright, so Lynn is done with the DLC. He will be heading for the final cleanup. Going to Grand Cathedral, make his way to Hemwick, fight the witches, go to Canehurst, fight Logarius, and then finish up with Gearman and Moon Present. PB jump. Good job, Lynn.
That means this run's a PB, right? Kaner is about 8 minutes long, maybe a little bit less than that. So you'll see him go through this like otherwise starter area. It comes pretty quickly. Like you can come here as soon as you kill Amelia, or not when you kill her. You can do it like beforehand even. All you need to do is have access to the gate either through killing BSB or the 10,000 Hunter Chief emblem. So a pretty starter area. He's gonna go ahead and grab 2 elixirs, I believe, for the area and the run up to the boss, maybe? I don't know what the extra one is gonna be for, but I know he'll use one on the run up to the boss. As you can see, we're fighting basic enemies here, so we can just go ahead and run right past them.
To Roman on bringing that one back. They were relatively close there towards the end. Remember, Roman is a very, very good high-level Bloodborne speedrunner, as is Lynn.
So here is the first elixir. You want to pop it around this corner so that it ends up running out as you're entering the boss room. And it gets you past these dogs right here.
Maybe by this time next year, you won't have to be looking at Hemwick because Cookie will release the skip.
Maybe. Well, he says soon TM, right? So who knows how long that is. Maybe Elden Ring will be out.
Lynn making quick work of the witches, and then you see him run up on that bed and get on that barrel, quit out as the boss is dying. This is similar to Dark Souls 3, the Greatwood skip. If you quit out of the boss arena after the boss is dead, but while the boss arena is still a boss arena, it will put you back outside the, quote, fog gate. And that saves you a couple of seconds here, because then you can just take off running and you don't have to go through the boss room.
Oh, I see. I actually didn't know that was like what triggered that to happen. I tried the barrel quit out today and I did it too late because the boss arena had deactivated.
Yeah, you
is
have
it like a certain position on the barrel, or
frames in there where as soon as the boss is dead, you quit out. So it's still considered the boss arena, but the boss is already dead. And that will put you outside the boss room.
But not before you get your echoes, to be clear. You need those echoes first.
Boss gotta be dead. But the arena still needs to be considered boss. So Lynn, running through Canehurst. I hope that Hattie is in chat. This will be his first time seeing this area.
Whoa. That was a nice little jump right there. This is the fabled Canehurst, I guess.
Earlier, you mentioned something about Lynn being part of the inspiration for you to start speedrunning Bloodborne. So how did you find Lynn?
So I guess it was like I was just like bored one night. There was no Demon Souls streamers on. There normally isn't. So I was watching like Regal Slayer, and then he went offline. And then I was like looking for like under the tag speedrun, and I like to watch Twitch like late at night. So Lynn was online because it's like afternoon for him at that time. And And basically from then, like I watched him start out doing hitless all bosses, which is like really fun to watch. Watching all the strategies that went into that. And then I started routing Bloodborne all bosses with my own weapon. The Beast Hunter's safe weapon from the DLC. I tried it out. It's like a sub 90 route if you're like good at it, but it's
Definitely Lynn taking the L to Gearman, but we'll be coming back.
He was like one hit away as well from doing the transform. He did transform. I don't know why he didn't do that earlier. That was weird. I believe it was because Lynn was doing L1s on him, so that was like kind of canceling him from being able to go into the third phase. But we'll just see him challenging him once more. We have a fog wall Gearman now, which is slightly different. It kind of changes things for the very end, but we'll get to that very shortly. Then gonna be popping his pellet and paper, and we're good to go again. Helicopter. Oh, coming very, very close there to hitting Lynn on the head, but gonna get some combos off. R1, L1, L1, and now we're in the third phase. He's gonna line up a backstab here, and then Gearman's gonna charge up his big AoE. Hopefully Lynn can finish. Nicely done. He's gonna go ahead and hit Gearman as he's falling. As you can see, his beast meter is full again.
Wasn't even close. I believed in him the whole time.
And we'll see if things are a little bit different here. Yeah, so we get in a very, very aggressive moon. I don't know. It might have been Pino brought it up, but I think you get a different opener. If you have a Fogwall Gearman, the opener is slightly different. We have a very, very aggressive Moon Presence. We'll see if Lynn can go ahead and tame it.
Get her, Lynn. Just like every Dark Souls boss. Hit him in the butt.
So now that Moon does the drain, the fight's pretty much over.
Nice!
Give it a few more bops, bop, bop, and then gonna finish it off with 360 Visceral.
Very
and
nice.
Franker Z. GG Lin.
$114.21. So unfortunately, Romanticore did not finish. He had a couple of hiccups early game with Super Skip and Gascoigne. Made it through all the way to Orphan. Took a death there and opted not to finish. Len finishing with the 114.21. He will advance to the winner's bracket of the second round and face Curious Peanut. Romanticore will fall to the bottom bracket and he will face Donnie Wrecked in the second. Hopefully we can get Len in here to come talk to us about his run and tell us how it went. Hey, Len.
Hey, Lin.
I couldn't release my tension during the race, only the thought of doing what I had practiced. I'm happy to have done my best to finish the game. Thank you again to people who supported me, Pino for preparing the tourney, Blanche and Mama for commenting. Thank you very much.
Thank
Enjoy the Bloodborne tourney. Done.
you. Done, Len. I'm very proud of you.
Thank
It
you.
was a great run. Thank you, Lin.
You're welcome.
So you didn't have very many hiccups there. That was a very, very strong run. All the way throughout, you did really, really good. How were you feeling during the run? Did,
Uh,
did you watch Roman, or were you just focused on the game? How are you handling?
yeah, I just focused my game. I didn't normally recognize Romance race. I'm sorry hear about that.
Well, he did. He stopped around Orphan. He had some struggles in the early game, and then at Orphan as well. But you did very good. You face Peanut next week, so it's
Oh,
time.
How you feeling about that?
uh, I'm happy.
You
Just
should
happy.
be. I'm excited for you.
Uh, thank you.
So I
Just
think that's going to do it for us for tonight, unless anybody else has anything to add. We are close to the conclusion of the first round. This was our first week of the tournament. There is still much, much more to come. Our next match will be tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And that will be between Eden Issue and Alma Pirian. This will be the last match of the first round. Once again, that's tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, okay? So I think that's going to do it for us. I hope that everybody has a
player thing, like with Lynn, and then it cut your guys' audio out because I didn't have my Discord as a source, and then I did it like I accidentally added it twice. So then like you guys are going double, and it's like I just was fucking everything up to the point I just went back to the first round. I was like freaking out. I just like couldn't do anything right.
It happens.
Oh my god.
It happens.